So, and I hope it's not too personal or nothing like that, but the McConan, you were McConan's manager, right?
Yeah, well, I found him from day one, and I built his YouTube from scratch. I mean, he had a YouTube channel, but it wasn't popping, and built it off, did the project from scratch, invested in him, managed him, taught him as much as I could about what I knew, and guided him for 3 years to a publishing deal. Well, guided him into a publishing deal, which led to a record deal and a record label bidding war, and walked through him the whole step of the way up until the deal with Drake. And that's when we started kind of losing contact after that happened. But yeah, I was totally involved with the project from day one.
Right. So using his formula, what and where I am right now, which is like at the very beginning of my own, original, making my original music. I've been doing covers, but making my original music and trying to do this as a personal artist myself. What say over the next 6 months? I know covers, right? I know cover songs. What is something, if you could use his strategy, what did y'all do? What did y'all do?
We just making a lot of content. He was making cover songs. There was a few covers that we made, but for the most part, he was just making his music. And at the time, I signed him. We had a website, and it was it was really similar to like World Star Hip Hop, and we were getting a lot of traffic. So we would post like girls. This was around the time twerking videos was really starting to take off. So we would like take twerk videos from the internet, and we would put his song behind the twerk videos. So what happened was we would like promote the producers that World Star wasn't really promoting. They would just be like promoting like Rick Ross's producers and mainstream artists. But meanwhile, we was promoting like the underground producers that was starting on the come up, not particularly underground, but the artists, but the producer that was on the come up, like Sunny Digital, like Metro Boomin when they were still in college. So now we're posting like his vlog videos and his like hood affairs footage that World Star's not posting. So now the producers is on our site because we showing them love. We showing their content, we tweeting it, we got celebrities that retweeting our posts. So we're building an underground platform that underground platform, and then they're seeing this guy's already, and while the producers are seeing themselves on the site, they're also seeing other artists that we're promoting. So they didn't really know we had him signed, but we will be promoting his music every day on the site for 3 years. We were running this site from 2009 to 2014. So between 2009 and from 2014, well, I signed him in 2011. So between 2012-ish. So from 2012, well, the end of 2011, from that time to the time Drake signed him, we was promoting him like as much as we could. I mean, if we could promote him every day, we would. And, he was living in Atlanta, and I would come out to Atlanta, and I'd come out there for about a few days or a week or whatever. And we try to shoot as many videos as we could in that time frame. And then I put them back on the website. So they would and then we put him at the top of the website. So people would come to the website and they would see him at the top of this underground website that has all this crazy content that World Star Hip Hop doesn't have. And then a lot of times World Star would steal our content and then put it on World Star. So it was starting to validate our site, like, oh, this is the site World Star gets their content from. So now everything we was doing was kind of validated. So if we like the artists, it was almost like they knew it was almost like World Star steals from the site. So you may end up on World Star by getting on this site. And it's a cheap alternative because we wasn't charging as much. So we were like it got to the point where we were doing 500,000 hits a day to our website. And this is before Instagram really took off. This is before all of that. So we really had a major platform. We had an urban media platform. And that's how McConan blew up. And a lot of people don't know that. He'll go on to interviews, he'll be like, oh yeah, I was just singing in my bedroom, and then Drake called me one day. But that's really not how it happened. Like, we were promoting him hard. And meanwhile, the producers in Atlanta was one of our major traffic sources, because we was heavy on the Atlanta music. That's where all the music was coming from at the time, around that time. All the hits was coming out of Atlanta. So we would be promoting these producers. So when I would come out to Atlanta, I could reach out to these producers on Twitter, like, hey, what's up? This is ILP. That was the name of the website. And they'd be like, oh, pull up, tape us. So I'd be at like Zaytoven's house and I'd have McConan with me. And they'd probably be like, yo, that's that kid that be always on the website. But they really wasn't really trying to mess with him, but they would see him with me. So I would bring him to like 2 Chainz manager's office, and I would just bring him to my business runs when I'd be in the city, because I would be trying to sell advertisements to these Atlanta record labels and producers and things like that. So that's how he got famous. And then, like I said, in the meantime, he's making cover songs. We shooting as many videos as we can. He's dropping music as much as we can. Every time he drop a song, we put it on the website. We've got booty videos with girls shaking ass. And to the point where people wondering, are these girls really shaking ass to this guy's music? Or well, if these girls are shaking ass like it, then maybe this is what's hot. You know what I mean?
That is so fire.
It was like a brainwash. We like tricked people into liking him. And to the point where Drake started liking it. And he made good enough music, and it sounded kind of weird, and it was kind of controversial. He was talking about drugs, and it was like hip hop, but singing, and he sounded like Biz Markie. He sounded like Elton John. It was all these different vibes. And it was this crazy website that was promoting him. And one of the, like I said, like we used to promote, we had like when Racks on Racks came out with Future, we was promoting Future a lot before Future blew up. And when Future blew up, it was kind of like validated our site, because and people were seeing that. They were seeing that we was the first to post Amigos. We was the first promoting Future. And then all of a sudden, Drake gets a remix on Versace Versace. All of a sudden, Drake gets on Tony Montana song, you know, and it's the same thing with McConan. All of a sudden, Drake hops on Tuesday. So we were building, we were doing a lot of, we were breaking a lot of artists, and a lot of artists that got a lot of traction because of us. We never really got any credit for it, and that's why I really started signing artists. But yeah, it wasn't, it was a lot of work that went behind him that a lot of people don't know about. And a lot of people just think, it's crazy how, like, you know, like some of the comments that I read when people be thinking I'm like some washed up manager and I really had nothing to do with it, and he was the talented person. I was just, it's crazy because like we really busted ass. We put up a lot of money to make that happen. Traveled cross country. I mean, I drove through blizzards trying to take him to shows so that I could take it, so I could post it on the site, so it could look like he was touring,
doing stuff.
It was a lot of work, activity,
and you put a lot of work in, basically.
It was
that you really didn't get enough credit for.
Hundreds of videos. I'm not talking about 10, 20. I'm talking about hundreds of videos I shot and edited and put out there to make it look like he had a big label behind him. But it was really just one person or 2 people behind him. It was like me and my brother was helping to run the site. When I was running around shooting the videos, my brother's maintaining the site. So they're not realizing this is an operation going on. This was a 3-man, 4-man operation going on. And then on top of that, I had investors that was invested in the site. You know what I'm saying? Because we had server bills, because we're hosting all these videos. We were like YouTube. And we weren't like, we had the videos on our servers. So I'm paying $10,000, $20,000 a month just to keep the website running. And I wasn't living in no mansion or nothing like that. I wasn't balling. I was living in my grandma's house doing this. I mean, she had passed away and left me the house, so I had the house. But I was living in a little 3-bedroom house in Ohio, working the McConan project and running this website. And you know what I'm saying? We really, like I said, we wasn't even really trying to get no credit for it. We was just like hoping, like, you know, when he blows up, he pays homage to the website, and we go along for the ride together to the top. And you know, as soon as that Drake stuff happened, he's like, well, I got Drake here. Like, I don't need your small platform, your underground website anymore. I got Drake's platform now. So see you guys later. You a fuck nigga, by the way. I really didn't like you all this time. I think you a fuck nigga. You know, you probably screamed on me a few times, and I held that to heart. So I've been waiting. Who knows why people do what they do? I'm just assuming, like, what was it? To this day, I don't know what I did to him to make him fucking just disappear. Like we was all
Leave on you.
we
So let me ask you, you didn't have him on no paperwork?
yeah. I mean, I had him under an agreement, and I started two businesses for him. I started his publishing company, and I started his record label. So we did a publishing deal with Mike Will Made It with Air Drummers, Miley Cyrus, Ray Streamer.
Mhm.
This
Yeah.
was around the time Ray Streamer was just coming out. And
Mhm.
we were signed to them. I seen them go from nothing to big stars, superstars. Like Sway Lee is a superstar now. And I
Sway
seen, and
Lee
I was
is the
around,
world.
I was fortunate to be around this kid when he was nothing, he had nothing. I could tell, I could see it. These guys came from the slums. And I've watched them come up. And the thing was, I think McConaughey could have been right there with him, but I think his greed and his ego, he got caught up in all of that, and
Mhm.
he didn't stay loyal to his original team, and
Right.
he tried to go off and do his own thing, and that's what people do. It's not like, I'm not saying you're supposed to stay in a business relationship if it doesn't feel right for you, but
Mhm.
everything was going right in my eyes. I mean,
Right.
the wheels don't break, then don't try to fix it. We just
Right.
you got a number
Right.
one
That
hit.
thing to the top, baby.
You got a
Right
number one.
to the
You got
top.
a number one hit song under my management. I don't care what feelings you got about me. Besides, if I might have said something to you, you got a number one hit song under my management. We got 2 more years to this contract. Let's ride this out for 2 more years and see where it go.
Right. 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 Right.
And instead of riding the contract out, he breached the agreement, tried to break the contract, and it ended up in a lawsuit. They tried to get me to take like 35 G's or something. I was like, y'all are crazy. Like, I got an American Express bill from when I was renting you cars. And he would fly out to LA. He would need a car. I said, there you go. There's a car for the week. Go get you a Camaro or something. But people don't be remembering. They don't remember this type of stuff you do for them, or the money you spend, and they're not thinking about the $4,000 camera you bought to take videos of them. Like, they're not thinking about the Range Rover I'm driving to and from Atlanta to drive you all the way back to New York so you could do a show, and then drive you all the way back. And now I need an air suspension from my Range Rover. It costs $3,000. Then I use the business card that I set up the business for you, because you business, man. You ain't never had an LLC in your life. So now I use the business card because I want this car expense to be a tax write-off. And they looking, and then I put his mom on the business account so she don't feel like I'm some shady manager, like I'm trying to
Right.
steal some money. So I say, nah, you could be a partner on this. You could look at the expenses.
And see what's going on.
What's going
Right.
on? So you don't never feel like I'm your son too. And I'm here for
Mhm.
us all to win. And
Right.
the Range Rover getting fixed, and they wondering, what is this? That's the car I've been driving your son around, because he got a big ass piano, and we can't.
Right.
Yeah. Then we got to bring this fucking shit with us. So
Yeah.
it was just and then when the money started coming, and then power starts shifting, it was almost like I pass you the baton. We're running a relay race, and I ran the shit out of my lap, and
Mhm.
we ran so fast we lapping everybody else. So now
Right.
I pass you the baton, and you
You
take
got to take off. You got to take off.
so the finish line is right there, right? We get the gold medal, right?
Yeah.
And he runs left instead of going straight. And that's exactly what happened. And then you call him, and then you don't pick up the phone, and you don't never hear from him. And then you gotta speak to him through lawyers and shit. That was what happened. And like I said, like to this day, I don't know what happened. Like,
Right.
this assumptions, ego, and bullshit. Ego,
Right.
jealousy, greed, and bullshit. Like to this day.
Right.
He reached out to me a few months ago about some music that he wants to release, and I was just like, yo, sign this agreement. So he signed the agreement, and I told him we just gonna split it up and do whatever. But then I was like, well, I need a video footage of you agreeing to this also, because you already broke the last agreement I gave you. So you already showed me that paperwork means nothing to you. So I'm gonna need a video of you saying, yes, I signed this paper, and this is the agreement, and we're planning on doing this, and I hold him no claims against him for such and such. And he didn't send me back. He didn't send me a video. So that's the story.
Is he doing something right now? Okay. Well, we don't have to talk too much about that.
I don't know. I wish him the best. Like, I honestly
God bless him. God bless him. God bless.
We got a hit song, and I mean, I'm grateful for the work that we were able to do and the history we were able to make. In my heart, I feel like we could have did greater things if we continued to work as a team, but that didn't happen. So I try not to dwell on it. But I know for a fact, you know, if we kept working, we would have made more hit songs, and there would have been more Tuesdays and #1 hit songs. But whatever, it's, you know,
Yeah.
live and you learn.
Yeah, it's like, and who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But anyway,
I like where everything is right now. So if none of that happened, I wouldn't be right here. So I like where things are going with life. So, you know,
Yeah.
everything is on a timeline, you know.
Yeah. Where did you get your musical prowess from?
It's been in my family. My uncles, they were in the music business, and they used to work with Jimi Hendrix, and they were one of the original founders of hip hop music, like in New York City. They were like from Harlem, and they used to have a record label called Nia Records, and a lot of early hip hop records were recorded at their studios. They used to have Andre Harrell signed to their record label. He was signed as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That was the name of his rap group. Andre Harrell was who later started Uptown MCA and signed Mary J. Blige, and who Puff Daddy came up under. So, so Andre Harrell, who was a protege to Puffy, the Puff Daddy was actually protege of my uncle's.
Oh, okay.
So I used to be hanging around the studio. We used to have a studio in Manhattan in Times Square. And like I used to be around Jodeci when I was like 10 years old. And I'd see like KC drinking a 40 ounce. And he used to have like this Lexus coupe.
What?
Yeah, like I used to be I used to be around artists and stuff when I was a kid. Like Wu-Tang recorded some of their first album at my uncle's studio. Like I remember Raven Simone came through and recorded one time. Like there used to be celebrities in my uncle's studio all the time. So I was around celebrities and music from an early age. And the studio we had was dope. Like Times Square, a recording studio, like that's what we had. Like that's where I grew up. So I always knew like I wanted to be in the studio. I wanted to be producing. I wanted to be have my hand in some type of production, because like I seen like, you know, my cousin, he was an artist when he was like 13. I went to like my first video shoot, and I just knew that's what I wanted to do, like from an early age. That's what my family, it was like the family business. And I seen plaques in the walls, and I always wanted my own plaques. I was like, I gotta get one of those. Like I didn't feel validated unless I had plaques, because that's what I grew up seeing on the walls.